And that is the unnamed Nexxus Warship. Battleship class, obviously. So let's take a little closer look at this design. So me and Nexx came up with the design together to build his team some sort of battleship. Something that would rule the galaxy on its own. So our original idea was to have some sort of like four-armed structure, and essentially it was going to open up with hinges and have all these guns on the inside, and then when it wanted to protect itself, it would close its shell. So it would have a defensive form and then open up and have an offensive form. Is it really practical? Not really. It would just look cool and it would like be very menacing. So like when it came up to its target, it would open its four arms and then have all of its guns on the inside just ready to unleash. And then once they started getting damage, it could seal up and close, repair, and just tank a lot of damage. And then when it's ready to like reload and unload another like salvo, it just opens up its giant dome like structure and fires away. But it became a little too shaky, as Space Engineers has it happen typically. So we went with a new idea with a battleship that could have its own fleet wherever it went. So the battleship actually has if we're going off of the CHONK classification, 30 gun mounts. And the 30 gun mounts are evenly distributed. So each of these ships is the length of a frigate. So technically a frigate would be allowed to hold 10 weapons. But because to equally distribute all weapons, you can't divide 30 into 4 and have 10, obviously. So, but honestly, this cannon, which is a little overpowered, kind of just allows this ship to do whatever it wants rather than needing to have like more guns or anything. So each of these frigates are pretty well armed for itself. However, the shield on each of these frigates, because each of these ships can be its own. Like you can fly around, you have enough power, enough hydrogen, enough ammo and everything. The only thing is that like it's not like you can't go inside, you can't really walk around or anything. It's just like the idea of it is that you would come out of the battleship through this ramp, and then you would get up onto here. Oh, not there. And then you would just have to fly up, get onto this ramp, and then get into the cockpit, which is right here, tucked in away, no actual visible sight. But another thing is if you've noticed with this giant, obnoxious, large radar dish, each of these ships, supposedly, you would fly them as a drone. And the reason why you would do that is because you would have your whole crew in the battleship, which I will go to the cab, the very awesome bridge that I actually really enjoy just looking at. So if you come inside, we got a little airlock there. That's just for easy access. I don't know if I would keep that or not, but still needs a little more details, a little more stuff. So unfinished battleship, but this is the prototype. And the prototype because there's actually like, there's no lights in it or anything. But as you can see, you have a great visibility here, and it's the exact same on the other side, but you would have these extra seats for each other pilot of each other frigate. So they would just control it like a remote control drone, depart from the actual mothership, fly off, and then attack the enemies, as you saw in that cinematic. Now, I could only do one at a time with the amount of hands that I had, but realistically, the battleship could stay far away, charge up if its Atlas super laser, yeah, that's insane, and then have its frigates come in and just kind of, tank a lot of the damage, maybe distract the targets, and by that time, the Atlas super laser will have charged, and it could slowly pick off every other ship in the fleet. This battleship is used to destroy fleets, so you may say it's unfair, and you may say it's a little overpowered, but I mean, the idea of like a warship, is to have like just scary amounts of firepower and shielding and everything. And that's another thing though. Although it has all this stuff, keep in mind, if you were to build it in survival, it takes a lot of resources. So this project would take a long time to complete, to be fully operational and ready to fight. And then it has this cockpit in here, which is meant for the main pilot of the ship or the commander, so he can close himself in here, get in this cockpit, and then you have a great view of the entire ship. And look at that beauty. That is a monster. Again, you can see where I have not filled in, but that will be very easy. Just got to fill in those gaps, and then the bottom is a little open. But it's got pretty good maneuverability. And the nice thing is like you can use the battleship how you want to play. So if you want all that firepower just on you all the time, just keep all the frigates on, because they give you more armaments, more armor, and because it adds all the gyros and all the extra reactors, it gives it a lot more power when in battle. The problem is that, you know, if you have all these targets all around you or whatever, and you want to distribute them and you want to like kind of take them away or distract them, you kind of need to depart your frigates rather than just being one centralized target. Now, my favorite part is actually the super laser that I made, because we have these lights set up, and I have them set up as if it's charging the entire barrel. So it starts like purple, like the Nexx is purple, and then slowly starts charging up, gets a little more orange, a little yellow. It comes to the end, starts blinking. There it goes. Absolutely insane. And then it shuts off right after. So you could start it again, like the charging system with the lights, but the Atlas super laser won't be ready because it still needs to reload. Now, some things I may want to change is probably make these frigates maybe a little more tucked in. You know, I like these recesses, and I like the ribbed pattern in it, because it really gives this like skeletal structure. It's like this battleship doesn't need armor. It relies on its firepower and its shielding, which it has a lot of shields. But what I've noticed is that my energy shield mod that I typically use, and I use it because I don't like seeing a shield bubble, but it's not as strong as some other shield mods out there. So, for example, my Tundarian ships that this awesome battleship obliterated, those Tundarian ships have a large shield generator, but one salvo of one of these turrets, the entire ship is gone. It just shoots straight through. An Atlas laser cuts it in half. I mean, I guess the Atlas laser is really strong, but this shield mod could be stronger. You could use a stronger shield mod. A lot of Nexxus ships, he makes, they have a lot of rounded patterns, a lot of rounded, smooth edges. So we really tried to work together and keep that design on the engine. I think it looks great on the engine. So we've got all these 4 hydrogen engines, and they're just tucked away nice and neat in here. I could probably add a little more detail in here so you didn't see that cross pattern. Maybe have these like sci-fi skin colors on, and then maybe add a little, like maybe not have so much skeletal structure showing, because I mean you can really just like, you could concentrate fire here. But again, the idea of having this ship so open is that, you know, it is like pretty overpowered, but if you specifically target a whole bunch of missiles and you broke the shields and you were able to knock out some of these reactors and hydrogen, you know, you could destroy the ship. You know, there's like a weak spot in every ship, so I wanted to keep it cool and cinematic like that. Have cool, so you would have to develop cool strategies and plans to defeat this ship. All right, so I want to talk a little bit about sorry, getting over a cold, as we all know. I want to talk a little bit about the frigates on top. Now, the frigates were like all me. I did most of the frigate. I kind of just Nexx really helped with the gun layout. He wanted something that was staggered and going up, so that, you know, every single one of these guns at a certain angle, it can just shoot. So nothing's interrupting these cannons as long as the frigate is head on with its enemy. Obviously, there's nothing on the bottom, but if you look at these ships, it's literally just a plate with wings. So what I do to disconnect is that you just unmerge, disconnect with P, and then you fly up. And originally, it literally just looked like this stick, and I thought that kind of looked boring. So all I did was add some hinges and rotors to have these awesome 45-degree wings. And it's not much, but even just that little bit, like that skinny little line, just makes it that much more maneuverable, and seems like it like sliced through ships, or it's like really speedy. And it is, it's pretty fast for this kind of frigate. And you would have to fly just, you know, always tilted towards, with the guns always above wherever your enemy was, just to get that perfect salvo of shots. Docking up is a little harder, but it's more or less the same. You just kind of park your way. You just got to line up, fold these wings in, and then land. But that's all I really have for today. Thank you all so much for watching. My throat is already hurting, so I think this is a good spot to stop. If you like this video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing if you haven't, and join this wondrous chunk army that we have created. Become one of us. But that's all I have for today, and I'll see you in the next. And as always, stay thick, stay beautiful, stay creative, my CHONK followers. Most importantly, stay CHONK.